What's up, you guys? I'm here gonna make my green smoothie for you with all the nutritious ingredients, and I'm gonna go over all the ingredients and why I like them so much. So I always start with a base of spinach, organic green spinach. You can use kale as well. It kind of just depends on if you like the kale can be a little bit more bitter. So I start with just a big handful of spinach. And this is, you can use any kind of blender, but I like this Ninja because it's pretty strong. So depends on, you know, how much spinach I want to do or how many people I'm making the smoothie for, but I usually grab just a big handful of spinach. Then I use my favorite one ingredient, coconut milk. Okay, so this coconut milk is my favorite coconut milk. It has one ingredient, coconut milk, go figure, right? If you check out the coconut milk that you might be drinking, it usually has a ton of fillers and emulsifiers that make it taste, you know, more appealing. But honestly, it's less nutritious and all that stuff you really don't need. This stuff you can get right on Amazon. I like the smaller boxes because they last, you know, you get through with them more quickly, so they're not going to go bad. And they're just portable, right? So if I go on a trip for a race, I can take this with me, right? So I always use this kind of ingredient, coconut milk, Arroy D, and I kind of just go with, like, you know, my instinct as far as how much. This is a great source of fat for me, so I use a lot of the coconut milk, especially as an athlete who wants to have a little more calories. Now, if you were trying to lose weight, you would maybe use water if you didn't want to have as much. We're going to talk about another way to make it more liquidy in the coconut water in a minute. But my chlorophyll, so this is a great nutrient, super duper antioxidant. It will make the smoothie a little bit dark green, which I love the color of. And again, I kind of instinctively maybe just go with about a tablespoon. I don't really measure anything. So really awesome antioxidant. And pretty much on a daily basis, I am looking to get as much green things into my diet as possible. You know, the American Cancer Society recommends 17 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and you definitely want to be leaning more towards the vegetables, less fruits, because fruit is sugar, right? So you're going to see I'm only going to have one fruit in my smoothie, and the rest is fat, protein, and carb. I guess just fat and protein, actually. So a big handful of walnuts. These walnuts are raw. Really important to use raw nuts when you're eating nuts at all, just because roasted nuts are rancid and they're actually not good for you, right? So raw nuts are going to give you the most nutrients. Walnuts themselves, you know, they kind of look like a brain. They're all convoluted, and they actually are a nootropic, which helps you actually concentrate better, and they can really stimulate your brain to stay on point. These are chia seeds, black chia seeds. You can get these on Amazon. Everything pretty much here you can get on Amazon. I get my nuts from a farm though that roast, you know, that dries them naturally. So you have to look for that. You can get raw nuts anywhere, usually at Whole Foods. And I usually use just a big tablespoon of chia seeds. Chia seeds are super nutrition. They have omega-3s in them. And I think it's like 2 or 3 tablespoons of chia seeds is the equivalent of like a piece of salmon. So if you're not a big fish eater, but you want to get your omega-3s in, which really help with your inflammation in your body, definitely use the chia seeds. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. So mushrooms are super duper antioxidants as well. They're immune boosters. There's so many nutritious qualities to mushrooms, and I love this brand, Four Sigmatic. They have 2 mixes, one called Defend and one called Balance. And I use a scoop of each of these every single day. So I usually put Balance in my coffee, which I'm going to show you guys a video of that soon. For my smoothie, I use the Defend, which basically is just helps with my immune system. Now, I haven't been sick at all in almost 3 years, and I definitely attribute part of it to the mushrooms as well as my essential oils and my whole routine, really. Now, if I wanted to have a little extra fat in my protein, I would have a half of an avocado or a whole avocado, but I'm not going to put that in today. But that can make it really thick. So if you're wanting more of a heavier smoothie, then I would add the avocado. And like I said, this is pretty much the only fruit I'm going to be adding. Now you can add berries or apples or pears, but you want to stay away. I mean, you can do any kind of fruit you want, but the whole thing is trying not to have so much sugar in your diet, right? So a lot of my clients will make these smoothies and they're all fruit. They're all fruit. You want to stick with more fat and protein, okay? So I'm a big, huge chocolate eater. So I love my chocolate every day. I usually have a scoop of cacao nibs as well as a couple pieces of dark chocolate pretty much every day. So this kind of makes your smoothie a little bit chunky. So it's kind of cool, gives it a little bit of texture. If I didn't have my greens powder in the morning, which I do every single morning, I have a scoop of this in a glass of water first thing in the morning when I get up. So if I didn't do that, then I'll add this as well to my super green smoothie. But this is a great brand, Paleo Valley. This particular greens powder has no grasses in it, so if you do have like some susceptibility to getting bloated from any kind of powders or proteins, this is a great option because it's super duper healthy, and again, it's a way to get an extra dose of greens in your day because 17 servings of vegetables is a lot. So this is a great way to get a couple servings in. I'm not gonna put that in. So then protein powder. So these are my two choices for protein powder, and again, this is super duper essential, you guys. Most of the protein powders that you guys are eating, unfortunately, are full of crap, okay? First of all, if it's a whey protein, most likely it's made from conventional cows, which unfortunately are not treated very well in our country. So you're eating pesticides and growth hormones, and that's going into the whey protein and you're eating them. So I'm a big fan of these two brands. One's called Mt Capra, and this particular protein has one ingredient. It's called clean protein. And it's made with grass-fed goat whey. So honestly, this is like the cleanest protein you can get, okay? So you can do 2 scoops of this to equate to 20 grams of protein. I have had certain people tell me that they don't like the taste, but for me, I don't think it tastes like anything. So you add it to something and it takes on the flavor of what you're making. And then this is a newer protein that I just started using about a month ago, and I have fallen in love with it. I love it, love it, love it. And I actually put this in my my coffee every morning, which I'm going to show you that recipe in a little while. But bone broth protein, again, these are made from grass-fed cows, right? So these are 2 one-ingredient proteins that you can't get any cleaner products than this. All right, so I'm gonna put my 2 scoops of the whey, because whey gives, I like the whey. The protein gives me a little bit more energy, and I don't mind the taste. And even if you're lactose intolerant, this whey is not gonna bother you. Goat whey has a smaller molecule, so it's more easy to digest. But typically, even if you're lactose intolerant, whey protein doesn't bother you. Okay, and my last thing is to liquefy it a little bit more with, of course, some coconut water. Now again, if you wanted a lower calorie smoothie, you could do water. But this kind of just gives it a little bit extra sweetness. And again, you want to check the ingredients, okay? This says not from concentrate, super important. And the only ingredient is organic coconut water. A lot of the times you'll look at the ingredients list and it has sugar or sweetener or ascorbic acid, and you just want one ingredient in your smoothie. Okay, so we're gonna go over here to my blender real quick and we're gonna blend it all up. Okay, you guys, so when I'm blending the smoothie, I kind of don't want to kill it, meaning don't blend it to the point where it's so purified that there's no chunks in it. You actually want to taste the walnuts and the cacao and maybe even the pieces of avocado and the banana. You want to kind of eat the smoothie because what it does is it releases the digestive enzymes starting in your mouth so that it breaks down in your gut, and then in your small intestine you can actually absorb more nutrients. So I'm not going to kill it here. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to take my blade out, set it over here for a second, and take a sip. And you can make it thicker or more liquidy depending on how much of the coconut water or the water you put in. But it's really awesome. I think it tastes awesome. Awesome. So I'll be posting this recipe along with all the ingredients with this video. So I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.